from like living paycheck to paycheck, having no money, no savings, nothing, to with like a solid budget and plan, I retired early.
Welcome to the Expat Failure Matrix. Today we examine a man who retired early at 40 by starting 6 new businesses. Let's run the matrix. Act 1, the origin story.
I knew if I'd save $1,500 a month, I could survive. By this time I was getting dividend checks,
No money, no savings, nothing. And dividend checks big enough to live on. These are the same person, speaking to 2 different audiences. The backstory adjusts based on who is listening.
In Canada, I had 3 jobs. I was a school teacher, I worked at a bar, and I sometimes even did food delivery on the side. I also rented out a room, subletted a room in my house on short-term Airbnb. All this was to make extra money because
working a good job, teaching. I'd even shacked up and calmed down. But I had a secret weapon. My rent was paid by my work. And if I paid less, I kept the difference. I lived off a 10 million dong a month budget for years, about $400 US. Sometimes only a couple $100 came out of my salary.
He told a mainstream audience he escaped 3 terrible jobs in Canada to retire. He told his own audience his employer paid his rent in Vietnam for years. One is a rags to riches triumph. The other is an expat employment transfer. Act 2, the portfolio.
But let me start with the actual retirement number because it is an entirely underwhelming portfolio of roughly $170,000. Not a life-changing number, unless, like me, you live in Southeast Asia and you benefit from geo-arbitrage and a penchant to live like a local.
$170,000. The 4% rule requires $600,000 for his lifestyle, which is a 65% gap. He knows this, so he buys covered call ETFs to force a higher yield.
Let's talk about where the actual 12 to 13% yield comes from, because I think that sounds kind of crazy to some people. If they have that fire number of a 4% drawdown in their head, they're like, wait, how can you triple that? How can you double that? That must be impossible. It must be a cheat. This is really the important part. It's the crux of the whole thing.
12% yield sounds amazing until you look at the NAV erosion. You sell your upside for cash today. It is a melting ice cube that hands you water. Act 3, the Gunslinger.
Gunslinger, walking into the sunset. I've been living in Vietnam for years, working a good job. I wasn't even making 6 figures. But while my colleagues were partying, driving around on motorbikes, eating Western brunch, I was eating pho, $1 noodles, investing in crypto through Coinbase, yes.
A beat-up old gunslinger walking into the sunset. He was sitting in an apartment leveraged trading crypto on Coinbase. That is not a gunslinger. That is a man playing digital scratch tickets on his phone. The math ain't mathing. Act 4, the funnel.
4. Well, you probably guessed it. I have 3 income streams in retirement. The portfolio has not been the primary one. So the first one is that I sell my time on the internet. I've been providing services, teaching, tutoring, educating other people one-on-one or in small groups for the last decade or so now. And frankly, 2, second source, content monetization, right? The YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, they generate advertising and promotional revenue. I'm not going to give you a specific monthly figure because it fluctuates wildly, way more wildly than even Bitcoin does. But based on the season, the content type, the algorithm performance, since May 2025, when I hit 20,000 subs, it's been consistently over $1,000 a month as long as I continue to post.
In Canada, he had 3 jobs and called it terrible. In Vietnam, he has a YouTube channel, a second channel, a course, a membership site, consultations, and affiliate links. He doubled his job count and called it early retirement.
It's the whole point. And if you've heard enough already and you truly want to move to Vietnam, that's awesome. Jump into the course I made. It's linked on my page. Don't waste any more of your time or your money. It's 60 minutes and a simple plan to help you get here and stop screwing around back home. Visas, costs, budgets, neighborhoods, what to do in your first 30 days. Straight to the point, less than. If you want my help, I do consults. I also have a Retire Early Abroad course, which is linked below. It's part of a bigger membership, etc., called The Cost of Living Abroad.
He pitches his course every 3.3 minutes. His full-service tier costs $897 for a 1-hour Zoom call. The retirement is a full-time content business, scaling to 99,000 subscribers in 6 months. Act 5, the merch.
The shirt says "you jealous" underneath.
Canadian expat Evan Jordan just launched a clothing line with a shirt that
He took a derogatory slur that people use to mock expats, printed it on a t-shirt, and sells it on his website. He monetized the insult. That is not retirement. That is merchandising.
Hàng xóm mặn. Trời ơi, chị ơi, he retired at 40 with 6 jobs. In my village, we call that Monday.
Chị ơi, $897 for 1 hour on Zoom. My grandson charges less for a whole motorbike.
His entire retirement is selling courses to other people. Chị ơi, delete his YouTube channel and see how long the ice cube lasts. Chúng tôi thấy hết.
Look, Evan is transparent about his numbers. He shows the spreadsheets, he admits the ETFs are risky, and he actually built a life abroad. That is more honesty than most creators in this space. But when you leave 3 jobs to start 6, monetize an insult, and fund it all by selling the dream to your subscribers, that is not early retirement. That is a digital sweatshop with a sunset background. Expat failure matrix score. Financial runway. 90 out of 170. He has real dividends, but 170,000 is fragile and the ice cube is melting. Comfort standards. 130 out of 170. He lives modestly, does not complain about Vietnam, and adapted to local cost structures. Cultural integration. 100 out of 170. 10 years in Vietnam, speaks some Vietnamese, but optimized for content. Self-awareness index. 40 out of 170. Calls 6 jobs retirement and leverage trading a gunslinger. Hustle transparency. 30 out of 170. A funnel machine disguised as lifestyle content. Final score. 390 out of 850. The Freelancer's Mirage. I'm your host at the Expat Failure Matrix. If a man retires from 1 job into 6, ask to see the math. The proprietary algorithm used in today's episode is available in our exclusive EFM course, which is a single ChatGPT prompt on how to actually retire early without starting 6 new jobs. Please do not pirate it because it is already free.